Hi, I'm Susie Terrell with the La Center Historical Museum. Today is March 2nd, 2022, and I'm going to be speaking with a special gal who has what I consider a very unique passion and project. Before Carole joins us, I thought I'd swing by the post office and show you what her passion actually looks like. So this is her Wall of Honor, her tribute to all the veterans. And this is Carole with Marie Coffey, who was the federal agent who played a key role in her story, as you'll find out in just a little bit. I would like to introduce Carole Parker. And Carole, I would like to find out more about your dream. And first off, I'd like to find out how long you have been in Clark County.
Okay, I've been in Clark County since 2004.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's been a while.
I've
Where
been,
did you
been
come?
in La Center. I moved here 11 years ago this month.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you've been here a while. I'm
Yes,
still considered a
I'm
newbie.
originally from, originally I'm from back east in Missouri, but from 2 years old, I was raised in Napa Valley
Oh,
in
okay.
California.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what brought you up here?
What brought me up here was my sister moved to Spokane, and my daughter, who was then 20 years old, had a 1-year-old, and we liked it up here when we visited. And I had been in healthcare with my sister in Napa. We had our own cardiac diagnostic lab.
Oh,
And so she was very interested in one up here, and so that's what got me up there. And I actually ended up being a diagnostic coordinator for the thoracic transplant program in Spokane.
oh, wow.
And I did that for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to start back, I married my high school sweetheart, and after we had been, he was in Vietnam. He came home, and he was in stationed at the Presidio in San Francisco for a few months. And he had lived in Germany when he first went into the military. And he wanted so much to take myself and my son, who was then 6 months old, to Germany. So we went to Germany, and we loved it. We traveled all over, every place there, from France and Belgium and wherever. And then one day, as was his job, he was training about 40 young men, different procedures that they needed to know to go to Vietnam. And they were in a big 5-ton truck. They were heading back to Holmesfeld, where he was stationed. And since he was in charge, he was in the passenger seat.
Okay.
And the 40 were in the big, huge truck, and a horrible, horrible storm. And the truck went off the road. He was thrown out, and he was killed.
Oh, wow.
So that after getting, I was going to say my head together. No, I didn't get my head together there. But I came home, and I was 3 months pregnant with my daughter.
Oh, my.
So I had a 14-month-old, and I was pregnant. And what I learned a lot from that is how much the military is family, and how they really rallied around and helped me so much.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
And then when I moved and I've been involved sort of with the military extracurricular things throughout the years. And one day when I was in La Center, I went down to the post office, and they had, I believe it was 5 or 6 military pictures, but they were kind of crumpled, and they were just thumbtacked to this movable bulletin board they had in there. And I thought, that is disgraceful. So I waited till the post office closed, being the upstanding person that I am. And I went down and I took them. And I took them home and I created a format that I could use for any military. And then I waited till the post office closed the next day, and I went back and I had framed them and I put them on the wall, not having any idea how that was going to go over.
Oh my gosh.
And
Were you
then-
on like a security camera? Somebody
No,
Otherwise you might still be behind
yes, I
bars.
still might be. Then I went back the next day and I'm just kind of hanging out, just kind of seeing what people was. And the postmaster, who I think was Marie Coffey at the time, came out, and I looked at her and I looked at them, the pictures, and she said, "Do you know how those got there?" And I said, "Do you want the truth, or do you want to know what I want you to know?" She said, "Let's just go for the truth." I said, "I put them up." And she said, "Carole, we love you." And so just asking, you know. So after I had about maybe 15, 20 of them up, somebody from, I don't know where, put a picture of those in the post office newsletter. And I got calls from Kentucky, Minnesota, Wisconsin. All right, this is great. How do you do it? And I said, I'll show anybody whatever. So I don't know what they did with it after that, after I kind of showed them. But I continued, and Marie said, "You know, the postmaster in Richfield is interested." So I went over there and I talked to her, and she loved it. So then that was just an open door.
Yeah.
And I think I have maybe 100 up in this one. And I think I have 40, 42 up in Ridgefield. I didn't start that as long ago. But I'm going there this evening, and I'm going to put up one. And the one request I ask is that if they're physically able or living anywhere near us, that they be there when we put their picture up.
Yeah.
You know, and that is such an honor for me to be able to
Definitely.
acknowledge their service.
It is such a wonderful passion. And I remember my first time walking in, I, of course, noticed them right away and kept looking around. I could pick out certain people that I knew.
Right.
And I am just so impressed with the wall, and I want to be able to show everybody, if you can really see it. This book that Carole made is wonderful, and it's got all the photos in it of who is up on the wall, and they're extremely well done. And
the only thing I ask, obviously, is if anybody that has been in the American military, and I don't care if it's just family that lives here and the actual veterans live back east, I don't care. I mean, that's not the point. The point is that we honor them however we can.
That's nice. That's very nice. And I know that you have gotten a lot of recognition. You've been interviewed and had articles in the paper many times, and you're actually going from this interview to another interview.
Yes, I am. And the reason I really promote that, and I really want it, is not about me, and that's what I want everybody to understand that I talk to. I do that to bring attention to what we want to do.
Yeah.
You know, that is so important. And you know, my I think this shirt says, "Land of the free because of the brave."
That's right.
And I want the younger generations to understand that.
Yeah.
You know.
I specifically brought my grandsons to the post office to point out their Papa Rick's picture, because my husband's picture is on the wall. And the older one actually recognized Murray Falk, because Murray and they love Grandma Candy's jam, and at the Christmas bazaars they've met and talked with them.
Yes.
And so it's fun for them, and I know whenever they go into the post office, they always look for new pictures.
Yes,
And I also want to stress that Carole does this out of the goodness of her heart. She doesn't ask for any money.
No. It's not
any
about the money. I would
compensation.
never charge a veteran or their family to be able to do this. This is what uh, God has put me in this place at this time for. You know, and I want to do it to the best of my ability
Yeah.
and honor our military.
That is so nice. That's so great. And I know that people have asked on Facebook or other social media, who does this? And, they look at the pictures, and I know your name and the information is
Mhm.
there. But with the museum, we try to tout it out and tell people about it. We have her cards here, and because to us it is such a wonderful tribute, and it just shows your love for the community and to the
Absolutely.
veterans.
Yes.
And I also want to share a book that Carole just brought in about the journey of the American veterans traveling tribute that came through town. It's been a few years
It has
here,
been.
and it's a fantastic book, full of all the different places that traveling tribute has been,
Yes.
and full of pictures, and we just so appreciate.
And what I said in the book, and it was when I heard that they were coming, and what they were going to bring. They were going to bring a copy of the Vietnam Wall, and I thought, I don't want to see some poor mock-up of, and it was just bothered me for a long time. I knew probably a couple of months before they came, and I thought, I'm going to get right in there, and I'm going to do as much as I can to promote it, of course. But I was very doubtful.
Yeah.
And when it got here, and they put it up, and I watched the veterans, both in the community and some that they brought with them, put the wall up. It is by no means any less effective and impressive than the one in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I was so pleased and surprised in a way, but I was very, very pleased. And just to see the veterans from here who maybe never got to go to the one in Washington, D.C.
Right.
To be able to see it and see their friends' names on it that they've never been able to see before, that was just outstanding.
Yeah. I have heard that several times from people who have come into the museum and told us about going and how moving it was.
Yes, very.
And I'm sorry I missed that. Was
and I was able
time.
to get pictures even of the, I want to say it right, Patriot Guard on the motorcycles.
Yeah.
That they gathered over there at the way station for trucks, and then they came down, and I was at the beginning of this side of the bridge, and seeing them come in,
oh wow,
it was just incredible.
Wow.
And so I tried to get pictures of them individually as much as I could, but at least the overall feeling that they promoted by coming in like that was just wonderful.
Yeah, they are very very impressive to watch. I know we had that when our past president, Tom Woolridge, when he passed away, we had them come to his memorial, and it was very hard to hold the camera and as tears are streaming because it's just a very emotional feeling.
Very much so.
And so I share that passion, and I want to invite everybody to come into the museum to actually look through these books because Carole so generously donated them to us. And how many pictures did you say that you had to?
I took over 1,000 myself, and then other people donated their copies of their pictures, and I ended up with a little over 4,600.
Wow.
And that was overwhelming to say the least, but it was also great to see how much of the community was involved in just wanting to see it and inviting people from around the area. That was great.
Yeah, well, it's a wonderful book, and it's just a wonderful service that you've done.
It's such a joy for me.
Yeah, we so appreciate, not only your passion for history, but for our vets, and, it's, been a pleasure talking with you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm glad, that you wanted to take the time
Yes.
and come and tell me about your dream. I think it's just so heartwarming.
It has been for me, it has been just, uh, I don't know the adjective
Yeah.
to use.
Yeah, I know,
Fulfilling is not saying enough,
Yeah.
but it has been,
yeah,
very much so.
it is,
And
yeah.
even though I'm moving to California, I'm still gonna continue it here.
Yeah, now that's
Yes.
gonna be interesting.
Well, I usually have them, because I print them on, let me back up a little bit. I used to frame them.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get expensive frames,
Mhm.
and I went in one day to the post office, and there were like 5 or 6 on the ground.
Oh, no.
They were too heavy.
Oh.
For what? Because I can't put a nail in the wall at the post office. I have to have something that sticks.
Oh.
So then I went to Office Depot,
Mhm.
and we talked about it, and they have this foam board that's light,
Mhm.
solid. So I have been having them printed on there, and I put those up, and they
Oh, you
stay up.
actually print
Oh,
it
yeah.
on there. Okay.
Yes. So anyway, I've gone to them this morning and talked about my emailing them. I want them, or would ask them to do them and have them ready, so I can have either someone pick up. I will be back, because I'm about to be a great grandmother.
Okay.
So I will be back.
Yeah.
But I want to continue it, and as long as I've got a computer and a telephone, I will
There
do
you
it.
go.
I will do it. So
Well, and if the museum can help in
Thank
that
you.
way, picking things up, having them ready, or, helping you in any
Yes.
way, just contact us and let us know.
Thank
We'll be
you.
very glad
Thank you.
to do that.
I would like as many people as to promote the idea.
You
Because
bet.
it's kind of slowed down here in the center, and I want to pick that up again.
Yeah.
We have new people,
Yeah, a lot of
So-
new people.
they have relatives, even if they haven't been in the military themselves.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that with as many people are moving into our humble little town,
Yes.
we'll, help get the word out for
I
you.
think that would be lovely. I would really appreciate that.
Okay, well, thank you, Carol. I appreciate you coming in
I
and taking
appreciate
the
the
time.
opportunity.
Alrighty, take